Good morning again, folks. Welcome back to the Back to Homesteading Off-Grid channel. We're back in the garden today, and come along because we've got some things to do. Let me switch my photo thing around. Oy. All right, now we can see some of the progress we made. After that windstorm, I took the opportunity to rake up some things and got some beds ready to go and stuff. We've seen the Jerusalem artichokes that are coming along. We do have a little piece of asparagus popping up that little Miss Nubsy hasn't eaten just yet. And I'm going to be planting some of these other things around and about today, so come along and I'll show you my progress step by step. Alright folks, the first thing I did was pull the mulch back. I'm going to be planting rows number 1 and rows number 2 today. I kind of prepped them a little bit. I made some waffles in number 1, and I'll make some more waffles in number 2 and get these things ready to go because I'm going to be planting cabbages and some of the new zucchini we have and some cucumbers, and I think I'm going to even put my onions and some broccoli in. So anyway, I'll show you that as the step by step as we do it. Alright, I've got some waffling done here because I want to put things in the little holes in the divots. I'm going to water this row 1 in a little bit more. Probably throw a little bit of water into row 2 also. Row 2 is still damp from watering yesterday, but I'm alternating what I'm going to be putting over here. So I put water in the holes for other things, but now I'm going to put water in the holes for the cabbages, because the cabbages are going to go over here, and then we're going to put the cucumbers in over here, the zucchinis over there, and some broccoli over there. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to water that in, and I'll be back when that's done. Alright folks, next step, now that I've got some water in all of the holes, I went over to my worm bed and I collected some more of that really good worm dirt. Now this is loaded with worms too. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to plant some of my little friends in all of the holes. I'm just going to take a scoop like that. And dig them down into where they're going to go. That's what I'm going to do with each of the holes, and we'll be back when that's done. Alright, let's see if I'm holding the camera well enough to where I can do this. Let me show you folks, I've got the hole dug out and my little plant here ready to go. This is one of the zucchini raspinades. It doesn't have as good a root system as the other one does, but in the hole it's going to go. We firm it up around it. And that's where we'll leave that one to grow for the year. This one has a bit more root on it. And again, we just nestle it in the hole and put the dirt around it. Firm it down. And all of these plants will get a little bit of a very good fertilizer and vitamin B mix when I'm done with everybody. That's the process. Then, to protect our little seedlings from rats and mice, we put one of those on it. And everybody will get covered and stay covered like that until they are big enough to fend them off themselves and not be tasty little morsels for those little marauders. Anyway, it'll also help with birds because birds will come and pluck all of your little seedlings right out of the ground also. See you at the next step. Alright folks, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to water all our little plants in, and I'm going to make a concoction of B vitamin. Y'all know what that is. And this organic all-purpose fertilizer that I got over at Ace Hardware. Looked like good stuff, and they need just a little bit of a boost. So I'm going to mix all of this in together and then pour a little bit of it on the plants with my handy-dandy little pitcher there. Anyway, that's the next step. Then what we're going to do is we're going to replace all of this straw without covering the tops of the caps, but we'll replace all the straw to mulch, and then we will just let it sit, and I'll come through and I'll water over the caps every day and keep the little babies alive and watch them grow. And thanks for coming along with me today. I'll take another photo when I'm all done. All right, folks, we are back and we are finished. We've got all the straw for mulch back in place where it belongs. We've got here in row 1, these are Copenhagen early cabbage. And these were saved from seeds that I've had, I collected last year. And then over here, we've got Market More cucumbers. I got these seeds from Vibrant Earth Seeds in Cortez, Colorado, because this particular strain of Market More cucumber has been living here in the desert Southwest for generations. So they save seeds that work well and do well here. Then of course we've got our zucchini raspinati, which is a very different kind of zucchini, more flesh, less seed cavity, and of course I've got De Cicero broccoli. And they're all covered up and all watered in with their fertilizer mixture, and they are ready to go. I've got the straw back in place for mulch, and let's hope that the wind that's coming up isn't going to remove it all. Anyway, thanks so much for coming along in the garden today. There will probably be more tomorrow because I have things to plant, but I'm out of energy today. Thanks again, folks. Bye-bye. Well, good morning, everybody. It is bright, sunny, April 19th, and this is what it looks like out our window. Started snowing last night, and we got about 4 inches worth of snow on the ground, as you can see. More's supposed to be coming today. The garden was covered up last night, and we'll show that later. It's just too cold outside to go out and show you the garden, but I'll show it to you later. But this is what we woke up to, so welcome to sunny Arizona. Everybody have a fine day, and we'll talk to you the next time. Bye. Good morning again, folks. Believe it or not, it is April 19th, Saturday, April 19th, 2025, and the garden looks a little different today. Woke up, well, actually went to bed last night with 2 inches of snow on the ground, and it is continuing, and I've come out here to make sure that everything is covered up. I'm very thankful that it started with snow and didn't start with rain, because snow is much more insulating, and it looks like everything is covered up. It looks like the apple tree didn't fare too bad, but apples are tough. Apples are tough. It was not blooming yet, and even if it was, we'd probably tuck those off. This is cucumbers, and that's where I put zucchini and broccoli. And then the garlic, you can see the garlic poking up over there. And over here was cabbages. And they're all covered up. Everybody is still all covered up, which is a really good thing. And it's starting to melt off. It's probably, 45 degrees now. So it's not real bad. Over here, boy, I'm going to have to knock that snow off up there. So we did get a little bit. The worms are safe and well. And this is my seedling box. And my seedlings are all safe and well and good. And then in the greenhouse, I covered up and protected the blueberries that I just bought. And the grape. And we're all good. Okay, and the comfrey's just tough. It's sitting over there. It's fine. But anyway, not too bad. Like I said, I'll need to get some of this snow off. But other than that, This is the state of gardening in the high deserts of Arizona. Like that box of chocolate, you'd never know what you're going to get. Anyway, this is what we got. A little bit of precipitation, a little bit of wetness. And in a couple of days, I'll take off all of the blankets and see how we're doing. And yeah, I get old quilts and blankets from, thank you, the Concho thrift store that's at Old Concho. And I usually buy them in the summer when nobody wants them. And I stockpile them and save them, and I used every one of them. Anyway, thanks for joining us on our little journey, and we'll show you the garden again when there's something a little more green to see. Bye now. Good morning, everyone. Well, I think we made it through. Back in the garden again. I think the last time we took a picture of this, it was all covered in snow. Thankfully, the blankets did their jobs, and it looks like everybody survived well. Let's have a peek at the broccoli. And it's still, oops, let me get it on camera. There we are. Still good. Doesn't seem to be damaged by the frost at all, but broccoli is tough. This is the real one. That's one of the real tests. This is the zucchini R, the rapasante, and look at that. We're good. It's all still good and hasn't been hit by the frost or anything like that. And we got down to the other zucchinis just as good. Then we've got the other things that were more delicate, which are the Marketmore cucumbers. You can see through there, they're just fine. They are just fine. Cabbages also doing well. I'll probably take these off in a couple of days and get it to where my the taller ones are on it so they can grow better. But anyway, even the garlic came through like a champ. Look at that garlic. It all looks so nice now. The mint is good, but then mint would be good. And everything did real well. I'm very surprised, pleased, and happy about that. But then I've also been aware that we can have these late frosts and storms for a long time. This is the Pink Reliance grape from last year, and it's came through just fine. It lived over here in the greenhouse during that time, snugged up against the water barrels, and then covered with a big blanket. The new Niagara is starting to bud out, and even these little starts from last year's Pink Reliance, I checked them today, they've got little roots growing. Then I've got my other stuff over here that I've got some more broccoli and cauliflower. The cauliflower is going to go in pots. I've got a few tomatoes starting up. I've got onions for next year's onion sets. I've got some onion sets from the feed store. And I've got squash and pumpkins and another zucchini. I've got one little pepper coming up in the back there. So we've got things still going. The comfrey, well, I got this one comfrey plant that's just going crazy. There's obviously way more than one root in there. And then that's my original piece off the original mama. And then the raspberries, some are coming out, some are not. We'll just give them a little more time. And that's about it. Everything did much better than I expected. I expected to lose some, and I didn't lose anything. But thanks to all these blankets that you see hanging on the fences, those big blankets and stuff like that I've been gathering for a couple of years, I buy them in the summertime when nobody else wants them out of the thrift stores, and bring them home and turn them into my garden stuff. And it worked, and I'm happy. And the garden is continuing. So we will see you next time. Thank you so much for coming along with this harrowing spring update that we had. And I am just as pleased as I can be. These blankets did their job. And we will see you all in the next one. This is Judy with Back to Homesteading Off-Grid. Oop, there's my finger. There we are. Now we can see everything. Back to Homesteading Off-Grid. On to our next project today. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.